I'm here. I'm here with. You've seen him here before. He's a friend, a good man, and a good person, Mr. Snowflake.
Hiya. Nice to see you again.
Well, we've always done these in a jovial manner. We've had fun with Jimmy, and I think I was privileged to be the first person to ever get to interview you when you were wearing the hood still, and it was like I said before. This explosion. I always said that this man is special, and given the right opportunity and the right time, he's just going to do amazing things. And you've never disappointed. I've watched you can deny it all you want, but you're just incredible at what you do. You're doing what you were meant to do, I believe. And I've said this to you in messages before.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
But you've done something a little more serious in your new documentary about Amber.
Yeah.
And and I look back, and the victims of an empath, how did that start? What made you so gung-ho to do it? Just start from the beginning. Because I know at first you wanted to help her.
Originally, a long time ago. Originally. And then the longer I went on with the Shaped by the Algorithm series, the worse I thought she was. And then I'm near the end now. There's only one episode left to go, Shaped by the Algorithm. And I just thought, I've seen too much horrible stuff. Shaped by the Algorithm has lots of jokey things in, plenty of fart jokes, loads of silliness. And I thought, it would be better if I did a little mini series of all just the worst stuff. And so I just thought, the worst stuff is how she's treated her partners. So do a little series on that. And then eventually, after a few hours, came up with a name, Victims of an Empath. And then that's it. I just thought, I'll show the worst. I'll show the serious stuff. It's been nice doing all the silly stuff, but I think there's lots of horrible, serious stuff to show. So.
And watching Shaped by the Algorithm, I even told you the first time we talked, I just was always crediting you with how good that was. And you took humor and you compiled it into, someone who a lot of people would consider a bad person. And you got flack for that, for supporting her. And how did that make you feel that you were trying to do a good thing, I believe. And I stand by that. You were trying to be a good person to help her, and you got trashed for that a bit.
That's okay. I don't mind. No, I don't mind that. I thought I'm doing the right thing, so I don't mind. But I was very wrong, so never mind. Lesson learned.
There was a point, and I think you talked about it in your documentary, which I watched last night, like thoroughly. I got a little teary-eyed. I'm not gonna lie. We've talked about that as well, but you were ripping up the Am Baby shirt, and you said yes, that was for the audience and this, but you said that was the moment that you realized, I can't keep trying to support this girl.
I think it was, yeah. I remember already up to that point, I was starting to think, oh no, she's not that great. And then, because what was I covering? It was I was covering the Destiny era. Well, she's more annoying than anything in the Destiny era. But then people kept saying, you have to watch how she is with Becky. Yeah. And then during the live stream, we put some Becky stuff on. I think it was live stream era when she's sat with Becky, and it was just awful. I was like, oh no, she's not just not great. She's actually really mean and spiteful and vindictive.
Yeah. I only watched so I can see Becky's amazing face. Liar.
I am getting up and I'm walking out the door.
Are you going to Pluto? Because you can't go there. Me and wifey live there already.
Nah, I'm going to Jupiter to get more stupider.
That's not possible.
No, I'm going to go to Mars to get more candy bars.
You don't need any more? Oh, wait. I have to respect her. She should feel like fucking utter shit for breaking my heart.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just, I think I was watching the Becky stuff, and I was like, I don't like this anymore.
So you decided to do the Empath video, let's call it that, and it was about Casey, and he seems like just a wonderful human being. I mean, just watching the interview itself, just like, oh, what a sweetheart. And what made you want to go back that far? Because so many people look at that as such a small part of the beginning that, but you made it. You fleshed that out more than anybody else I've ever seen. Like you really put meat on that. And I didn't know as much that, I mean, I knew of Amber, and you and I have discussed Amber, here and there, but I didn't know how deep it was until I watched your video. I was like, oh my God.
I think that's it. I think most people didn't know about the Casey stuff. Like when I started, I didn't know too much about the Casey stuff, and I didn't know much about the Crystal stuff because I didn't watch much of that. And a lot of people always say they joined during the Becky era, or the Destiny era, so they haven't gone back to see all the worst stuff. So I don't know. I just thought I'd start with the earliest thing of her online, anything to do with that, and that's Casey, and then work your way up to Crystal, Destiny, Becky, Wifey. Yeah, but hopefully now, after the Crystal one, everybody knows the early stuff, and we're done.
Which I do want to get into Casey in a bit, but and all that information you got, how did you get all those messages, and were you able to retrieve all those old texts and all those old like not Moko space, but all the stuff that she posted before from the FM stuff and everything?
The Ask FM was the hardest. Well, it took the longest because I can't remember how many messages she had, 30,000, something ridiculous. So it took a week of getting all the messages. So I had to scroll back for ages and ages and then just screenshot all of them. So it took 1 week to screenshot all the messages.
Jesus.
For 6-8 hours a day of just this. I was so sick by the end. But yeah, just go back and just look at everything I could. All the Facebook stuff. Ask FM. Yeah, that took the longest. Yeah.
How do you find the time to do that? Especially that's 8 hours of Amber.
I just have to get up super early, try and do a little bit in the day when I can, and then stay up super late. So just don't sleep too much, and then catch up at some point in life.
So, as you were doing this, I mean, I know that you made a decision that you wanted to do this documentary but what was the point? Like, what was the idea? Like, what was the end game for this? What was it that made you say, I have to do these 8-hour days? I have to get all this information to make sure it's proper.
I just wanted everybody to know who they were watching. Because, because it was funny at first. It was funny after a while of the silly things happening in the Amberverse. But I just kept finding just evil, horrible stuff. And I was like, nobody knows about it. Nobody knows about it. Or not many people know about it. So I just kept finding worse and worse stuff. And I just thought, okay, I think we'll have to let everybody know. But make it into a proper documentary so people actually watch it and then find the information. But I think I just wanted everybody to know who they were watching. Yeah.
Well, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel this is a more personal one for you. Because I've been watching you since you did videos on Cyrax and Tyree Sneed. I've been watching you forever.
Yeah.
So, but this one, like you did a couple Boogie videos where you're not the narrator. You use a lot of the older clips, and it's a different style for you. And not to say I don't like it, it's different, but I mean, and I prefer having you because you are a very good storyteller and you're a very good conveyor of information. I think that you have a way of conveying things. Maybe it's a sexy accent, like I don't know. I just know that you have a way of conveying things, and it seems very heartfelt. But this feels personal. Am I wrong in that assumption?
Personal. I don't know. I think I just felt bad for the victims. I just felt really bad for them. So I don't know. I just felt really bad for them, and I thought, I just want people to know. And since I've started talking to Casey, who's amazing, he's so nice. He's so much nicer than I am. Puts me to shame. I seem awful. So now I think, I want to do a good job with the Crystal one. Because Crystal seems nice. I want to do a good job for the Crystal one. Crystal deserves a nice episode.
She seemed like a sweetheart from what we have know of her. But I think you sell yourself short. You talk a lot. You talk shit with Jimmy, and you have a good time, and you joke. But you're like me and Trips, my significant other, the other part of this channel. And she's even said, wow, he's a sweet man. And then because it's just who you seem to be. And in essence, I also would go so far as to say Amber, who claims to be an empath, is not, but you are, because I feel like you feel for people. Like you would. I don't think that you would have done that video unless you wanted to do good for these people who are victims of her. Would you agree with that?
I wouldn't call myself an empath. Probably have a bit of empathy, like every human. No, I would never call myself an empath.
But you're also humble, though. You're not one who thinks you don't want a bunch of attention. You're just doing the right thing, I think.
I felt a bit more like that for the Empath series. I felt a bit more like do the right thing rather than throwing some fart jokes. Although the fart jokes are funny.
Especially once I reach that
Ready?
right there. And I did like a deep breath, whatever. So obviously those things are not normal. Like right there. Oh, and I did like a deep breath.
We do love the fart jokes.
I don't know. A little bit. Like do the right thing. So make it really good. So yeah, I'm determined to do a good Crystal one. I think she deserves a good one.
You said in the video, you said that Jimmy was the reason you ended up picking Amber because he gave you a list and she was at the bottom of that list, and Jimmy didn't even know you didn't think you would pick her. Like, of all people, do you regret that now after everything you've seen, or
regret it? No. I'm glad I did. Because I didn't know there was this big community for Gall World or whatever it's called.
I didn't either until we talk about Foodie Beauty, another one you've done videos on.
I'll be getting a Foodie Beauty. Well, I thought I'd get to it now, but then
This
Victims of Empath are going. So maybe I don't know, hopefully January, February, I'll get into doing a deep dive.
Buckle up, because that's going to be interesting. But I'm also looking forward to the Destiny stuff.
The Destiny one, yeah. It gets sadder in the Crystal one. Destiny, it's about Destiny, but there's more outside things. There's Gracie, there's Libby.
Yeah,
there's other bits. It's not just Destiny on that one. There's extra bits. Which gross. Yeah, there's extra bits on that one. And then who else? Becky, and then we'll get to Becky.
So I need to know, like, if after we finish the Victims of an Empath, are we done with Amber?
Yes. Done for it. Well, I did come up with another little series, so I was trying to think of another one. So then I took the day and I watched some of her videos and I came up with a new series. And I was like, oh, I really like this. It took all day. I was like, I think I've got it. I like this format. I like this structure. But then, yeah, after Victims of an Empath, I think I'll need a break. I need a break now from it.
I absolutely think you need a break. I worry about you sometimes because you have dove full for, and that's one thing I love about your content. Like, you'll do this and you'll do that, but you are very thorough. Like, you've always, and when I mention you to other people and I mention you to other like content creators, I'm like, if you want to learn how to do this properly, watch Mr. Snowflake. Look at the way he constructs his videos, because your timing is impeccable. Like, you bounce from each subject, and there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and there's no wasted space. Again, I know you don't like getting like doubted on and bragged about, but you really are. No one does it like you. Like, you're completely unbiased. I think this is the first time I've ever seen you become pick a side on something as far as this, which is making it more compelling to me, because I know you as a good person. I know you as a very strong-hearted guy, and to watch you go into it like that, I kind of like, whoa. Now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing. I'm just trying to learn from the last video and learn from the last one. I still don't really know what I'm doing. I'm still trying to figure out what works. But I watched what's he called? H Bomber. You'll know H Bomber.
I've heard of it.
I hadn't heard of him until recently, but I watched a video he did about plagiarism. And he really picked a side. And I was like, oh, I quite like that, actually. He's not sitting on the fence, so he's not unbiased. He's picked a side, and I was like, I quite like that. I quite like letting the audience know what side you're on. I was like, oh, I might start doing that more. I quite like that. So I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to learn from the last one, and I'm just watching other people going, I like that. I don't like that. I'll pinch that. That's good. I'll have that. Not pinch that because that's plagiarizing. But I'll do a little. I just watch bits and I go, oh, I really like the way they've done that. Or yeah, I don't know.
Well, and again, like I don't know if you can see it because like, and you're the creator, but being someone who is a fan of yours, who started out as a fan of yours, like again, going back to the original videos where you had the robotic voice and wore the hood, and it's night and day, but still the essence of you is still there. You haven't corrupted the ideals of who Mr. Snowflake is as a person, as a character. I just think that you as a person has just blended with that character a lot better.
Yeah. I used to hate being on camera. I still don't like being on camera. I still don't like my voice on camera, which is why one of the reasons why I wore the hood and I disguised the voice, because I just didn't feel very comfortable. I've gotten better. I'm not perfect. I'm still nervous.
Well, say what you want, but apparently Snowflake has a lot of fans, and they're all out there saying how handsome and lovely Mr. Snowflake is in the chats and on the Twitters and on the X's. And Mr. Snowflake's apparently a snack.
Apparently, that's nice. But
I mean, he's no Jimmy Bunker, but Mr.
Well, anytime I do get nice compliments, I always get a text off Jimmy going, "Where's mine? Where's my attention?" So it's nice, but I still, if I could just hide the face and the voice, I probably would. But it's too late now.
Well, people have grown to love you. You become the ipso facto king of girl world, and you weren't trying to. But but that's the thing. Your channel is not. I would call myself someone who's followed this type of content for years. We're talking back to the Angry Grandpa era of things and watching McJuggernuggets and things of that nature. But falling into this and the Nikocado avocados, the Amberlins, I found like the Cyraxes and all that. And the way you do things is different than anybody else does it, in the sense that you literally take these people who nobody would want to know anything about, and nobody would ever, in their wildest dreams, think they could find a human being like that, vis-a-vis Cyrax, and you make it interesting. Like, I watched your first, recently I rewatched your first video on Cyrax, right? And how you almost made him a sympathetic character. And then when I find out more about him in the second video, and then I went and did my own research, like I've been in Marty's streams and I've been in other people's streams and watching him now, and it's like, why did I let Snowflake put me down this road? Why did I let it, but no one does it like you.
I like that one. I think most people have figured out the Snowflake formula. Get you to like them, and then boom, they're actually awful. I like that. I like that.
Well, I do want to talk about, as we're going on, I'm going to talk about the gentleman that he was someone that I wanted to root for. I cannot remember his name. I think you know who I'm talking about. He was just a guy who was trying to do videos. He had to park somewhere because he had road work on his street. What was his name? Now I'm going to have to look it back up.
What's his name, man?
AJ.
AJ.
Yeah. So tell me about AJ. Like, I was on, because we haven't really talked since even you did that. I wanted what was going on with that? What made you want to do that? And then ultimately, what made you want to go?
Oh, well, that's an interesting one, actually. AJ. Yeah, it is AJ. That's an interesting one. He messaged me, I think on Twitter. Anyway, he messaged me saying, I've been inspired by the Amber series. This was a while ago. I can't remember. I've been inspired by the Amber series, and I'm going to do a weight loss, and I'm going to show everybody how to do it. No drama. I'm going to show everyone the correct way. So I said, great. So then I gave him a shout out on YouTube and on the community, and I was like, everybody get behind this guy. He's going to show us how to do it. And then he was just as bad as Amber. Well,
Yeah.
probably was.
Well, I mean, I remember the whole blood letting out and whatnot. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, he's cutting his legs. Oh bless him. And then he just, what did he do? He turned, and then then he came back because he disappeared for a year after he failed. He came back. Did I give him a shout out? I can't remember. Anyway, he started replying to all the comments, but he was being really, really awful, really mean. And he just was really, because he didn't get that much attention the first time. He didn't get that many views or comments. So he seemed like a nice guy. And then as soon as he started to get negative comments, he was awful. He was awful to them. And it was horrible. That was horrible, his replies. And I was like,
I think I might have gotten a reply. What it was in your because I replied to your video. All right. And I said something along the lines of, I was really rooting for this guy. I kind of feel bad. And he said, well, you'll see. And he just went, and I just, whatever. I'm not going to deal with this. I don't have time for it. But I remember telling you, after I watched the video, and I messaged you privately. I said, look, don't make me like this guy for him to. And he goes, well, you're going to have to watch the second video. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
And and I think that's sad, because you've always been open to give people opportunities. Like, this is not the biggest channel in the world, but we met when you had X amount of subscribers, this and that. We just conversed back and forth, but you haven't changed who you are. Like, I put that out there, and I'm not like trying to put behind the curtain or anything, but, or, get into your personal, but I stress to people that you're the genuine article, and they're not going to find some skeletons in your closet, because this is who you are. Like, you're a good man. And for these people to come and try to inflate their channels or whatnot, you constantly told me, well, let me do this for you, and I'm like, no, don't worry about it. This is a hobby, and this is whatever. But you're always trying to help, and that bothered me. The AJ bothered me on a personal level, because you will go out of your way to help somebody. You will bend over backwards to give your platform to other people. I'm living proof that you've tried to do that with me, and I was like, no, it's okay. And he just kind of squandered it and pissed on it, and basically gaslighted you to say, yeah, I'm going to do this, and he didn't live up to it.
Yeah, that was a bit sad at first. Me and Jimmy, because Jimmy was like that. He was always rooting for him, and Jimmy kept saying, like, give him a shout out and push his channel. So I think me and Jimmy were both a bit like, oh, he's not like great. That's disappointing. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, I'm okay. I'm not Casey. I'm not as good as Casey.
How did that start? Because I know the video came out. I know y'all kind of discussed it, but he said that he saw the video because someone pointed it out, and he was terrified. Oh my God, it's going to start again. Yeah. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, you poor thing. Like, and I wanted to root for him so bad. And then he said that who reached out to who?
He commented on the video saying, get in touch or something like that, or I want to get in touch, something like that. So I found him on Instagram and then just started chatting, and he's the nicest man. He was happy with the empath, and he was happy with the interview. So I said, right, I'll give you the money for the interview. It was all you. I didn't do anything. You can have it all, don't care. And he wouldn't take it. And I was like, just have it. Just to have it. I'm not going to he wouldn't take it. So I was trying to think of a way to slyly give him it. I don't know. I was trying to think of something I could do. I don't know. I'm still going to figure it out.
I want him to be able to open the door in a world where he doesn't have to look back and that dark, giant woman's cloud is behind him. I want him to live a life where he's happy. And I didn't know how bad it was until I watched that interview, and how it still was following him, and how relationships were it made me despise her on a level that I didn't know I could despise somebody that I never am going to meet. I'm never going to meet her. I mean, if I saw her, I wouldn't say anything, but I'd be disgusted. I know that. I feel for Casey though. And it's because of that interview and because of that documentary. What was the planning going into that interview, and how did it come together? And after it was over, what is the future for him?
There was no planning because I didn't have time. Because normally with the documentaries, I'll figure out the structure, I'll figure out the plan. It changes as you go along. In editing, it all changes. But with that, he just said, I think he said, I'm free tomorrow. Do you want to do an interview tomorrow? I said, yes. I didn't have much time to do anything because it was really late. So I had to quickly try and get some sleep. And then I was up doing other things, family things. So as soon as I got the chance, I just turned the computer. So I didn't really have any structure or planning. Luckily, like a few days before, I'd watched a little documentary on YouTube about Conan O'Brien, interviewer, American. I just happened to watch that and how he does it, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then a few days later, just got the Casey interview, and I was like, oh, right, what did Conan O'Brien do? Right, he did this, and then he was nice here, and then he did this. Okay, I'll try and remember that. Go, interview. So I didn't really have time to do much, but it was great. It was very sad. You'll notice a lot of the cuts are cut to Casey because I'm just getting really upset. I was like, I'm not showing that. So I'll just cut to Casey. Oh man, and I still feel drained off it now. I still feel. I think it was like cathartic for Casey. He said he felt much better, but that's good. But I still feel just drained from how sad it was.
I think he needed it though.
It seemed like it because he was great at talking, and I thought, like, as soon as he started talking, I thought, oh, he needs this. You can tell he needs to get this out. Yeah, I think he needed it.
Can we acknowledge though how much of a good person he was, and the fact that he still, even though everything he's been through, he wouldn't go low.
I know.
He
I would
wouldn't-
have.
I would have been like, yeah, well, the smell was this and this, and she couldn't fit through a door, and but he was so professional and honest, and I think the part that hit me the most is he was talking about he had a stroke.
Oh,
and I just, again, I feel for him so much, and a part of that's you. You did like we talked about this before, like interviewing and this and that, and how you want to learn. You've asked me questions before about interviewing, and I can't give you any advice on that because I don't prep. I just go. Anything I've told you this, we just go. I look at it as two mates talking. We're just having a conversation and just shooting the shit, and that's the only way I can do it. I mean, Trips, on the other hand, if you watch any of the videos we've done in here, she edits the shit out of everything, and she's amazing. You did a fantastic job. You let him speak, and you let him be himself, and just when he talked about his mother and he was happy about it, but in the same breath, like his mother's going through stuff and he's still there for her. Like he's still there for this woman who adopted him, and just after everything, a normal person, man, woman, whatever, any human being would be broken and beaten, and he is still trucking along.
I was thinking that since the interview, I was thinking that a lot today, actually, this morning. I was thinking if any of that stuff had happened to me, I think I'd be a mess. I think I'd be an absolute mess. And I think I'd be struggling to just be normal. But he still was just like, he has hope for her. There's a little bit of hope that she gets better. And I don't know how he's so just optimistic and nice. And
he was all about, I hope that she has a better life. And
sorry, go on.
No, go, please.
I was just going to say that I'm much pettier than that. I hope she has a miserable life.
Fuck yeah.
He was like, I hope she's happy.
I thought that, and you conveyed that beautifully. Like you gave, like, again, like as far as the interview, and I'm guilty of this all the time. I tend to like ramble and not shut the fuck up. But you gave him this opportunity, and I think we hit it on the head. He needed this opportunity, but that is a charismatic person, like talking and just being himself. You know, like he was talking about the transition, and he misses his luscious locks looking at old videos, and I was just sitting there laughing, and I enjoyed, like, it was as if two friends hadn't talked in a couple of years and y'all are just catching up. That's how it felt watching you two.
Well, that's good. I think we have become friends now. He wished me a Merry Christmas. And I said I'm going to keep in touch, and we've had a couple of messages since the interview. And he's just too nice. He's too nice. It's annoying. It makes me look horrendous.
That is bullshit, and you know it. You can sit there and argue with me. Like, you know what? You won't argue with me because you are a sweet, sweet man. I don't care what you say. You're not going to argue with that. Damn it. Yeah, I mean, you put up with Jimmy, so you're a saint in my book. So
Jimmy said he said to tell you hello. What's he doing? He's at work. Yeah.
I would say hello to Jimmy. Jimmy, I know, like, again, the last video we did, we joked with Jimmy about what have you, but Jimmy is one of a kind. He really is. I think he added a little more to that documentary as well. I think he needed to be there, and his fancy chair with his cup and just being that. You need the Jimmy part of it to kind of section parts off, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't write him to be funny because I gave him a rough idea of what's happening. And he did it, and he kept being funny. And I was like, no, we're not being funny. It's a serious thing. And he was like, I can't be serious. I'm doing it. I'm being funny. I was like, okay, fine.
But he has to. Like, okay.
Yeah, well,
I think that if it was completely solid, just serious, you didn't have those little bunker moments. That would have been hard. I don't think I could have watched it in one sitting because I can definitely say, there was a moment where he's sitting there and he goes,
"That's a lie."
And I'm just sitting there going, okay, I needed that. I needed that break in this seriousness because I was.
He was right. I wrote it as it's all serious, but I was wrong. He got it right. He said it'll be better if I do it funny. And I was like, go on, then I'll take your word for it. And it was. I mean, I had to cut a lot out. There's loads of bloopers. But him going...
Are we getting those?
Are they still on the... Yeah, I think so.
Can we get that video as well?
I think they're still on the computer. I'm sure I haven't deleted them, Jimmy. If I have, I'm sorry, but I'm sure I've still got them. There was just loads of Jimmy just being so silly. And I was like, it's a serious subject. No. But he was bang on. He got it right. I was wrong. He'll be watching this interview just waiting for us to talk about him. So he'll be watching this and he'll be dead chuffed. Hi, Jimmy. You having fun? I'm talking about you.
He's going back to his old videos. We talked about way back when we talked about the guy drinking the and all that. Like his old videos that he had posted before on his channel. He's got a knack for directing. Like he's got a knack for like just convey. He sees things before they are brought into content. Like he knows what he's talking about. He's insane.
The snowflake dance. Snowflake dance. But the ladies, look at that pose. Give up your laurels, Sarah Hood. Look at the buzz. Look at the buzz. I'm an Egyptian goddess.
But he knows what he's talking about.
He's really good. He's really, really good. I would always, I at the beginning especially, I would always ask him for advice, and I still do now. I'm getting a better idea of what I'm doing, but in the beginning, I used to ask him constantly, right, where do I put this sympathetic bit? Where do I put this bit of drama? And he was like, right, that goes in Act 2, that goes there, and that goes there, because that sets up that. I was like, oh God, he's so good. So now I'm getting the hang of it more. But when I get stuck, I'll still message him, I'll call him, and I'll go, right, Amber does this here, or Boogie does this here. What am I doing? But he fixes it straight away. He fixes it every time. He just goes, what's the point in that scene? And I'll go, it's to do this. And he'll go, right, well, that's why it goes there. And he's really good. And he'd be great at documentaries and things himself, but he's always at work.
Yeah.
So the best...
I completely understand that. Like, Trips is the... I think everybody needs a Jimmy. Luckily I have a Trips, and she helps me. I can come up with an idea, and I can say, we should run with this, but she knows how to take the skeleton of what I made, put flesh and blood on it. And I look at Jimmy and you, and I look at her and I in the same breath. Like, you need someone in your life like that who there's nothing in him that I see that's trying to lead you astray. He legitimately cares about you, so he wants the best product for you.
He does. Every time, if I show him something early, if he doesn't like it, he goes, it's crap, get rid of it, it doesn't work. And I'll go, no, because, and he's always right. Or if I ask him, right, I'm thinking of doing this idea, and I'm going to do, he'll go, no, don't do that. That doesn't make sense. Don't do it. So he's, yeah, if he thinks something I've done is terrible, he'll just say, that's terrible. I'll go, okay, we'll change it.
But it's out of love. Like, it's out of, like, I care about you. I don't want you to look like a fool. Yeah.
He's smarter than he looks. Yeah.
Oh, I'll agree with that. Yeah. But he looks great recently. I mean, I want to talk about that, y'all's fitness journey that happened, and sexy Jimmy. How'd that come to place?
I can't remember what we did now. How did we start? I don't know. I always want to do them. I always want to do a little fitness challenge, and I've tried to do another one. I'm trying to do one now, but I just haven't got the time to film it all. So I'm going to still do it on my own, but just not film it because there's just not the time there. But I don't know, Jimmy, now and again, he'll get the urge to get fit, and then he'll get super fit, super quick. I just don't know how he does it. But yeah, because people always say, "Oh, the Amber series videos you do inspire us to get healthy and fit." So I think, "Oh, well, I'll make one. I'll purposely try and inspire," but I just never have the time to do it all, sadly.
But Jimmy does. I mean, the man shreds weight like
He's like, what's he called? Christian Bale. He's the Christian Bale of sidekick YouTubers. He does it so quick. I don't know how he does it. He'll say, "Oh, I've put 2 stone on," and then I'll not see him for a few weeks, and he's lost it all. I go, "What did you do?" "Oh, I just walked to work. I ate an apple. I did that."
it's a level. If he is the Christian Bale, maybe we should get him a Batman costume. That would be great. I would love to see Jimmy in a Batman costume. As far as these documentaries have gone, and again, like you're the victims of an algorithm has been a different turn than you did this stuff as well without your commentating. I want to talk about that. What was the design for that? What made you go into start creating your videos where you weren't at all like it was just clip, video, clip?
It's because I did. What did I do? Life by Jen.
Oh.
And that was a super sad one. And I thought, "Oh, I'll just let Jen tell her own story." And it worked perfectly. So I thought, "Oh," and it got the best reaction. So I thought, "Oh, we'll do that again. That's what people like." Because I thought, nobody's going to miss me. Nobody cares. It's the subject that matters. But then a lot of people were saying, "Oh, no, we miss your voice in them." I was like, "Oh, I didn't think anybody would care." So then I just went back to, then I tried something different. Then I thought, I'll put me in them and see how people react to that. And that got a better reception. So I thought, "Oh, I'll keep going with me in them and my voice, obviously." And then we'll throw Jimmy in, because every time Jimmy's in, everybody enjoys it.
Yeah,
so I'm still learning. I'm shaped by the algorithm. So I'm still learning, and so now, putting me in it and Jimmy in it seems to work best. I'm still learning. I'm just guessing.
But you're doing, like I said, you're guessing. But like, okay, can I speak to you as a fan, not as a friend, but as a fan of yours? Okay. When you first started doing your videos and you had the hood, there was a mystique about it, and you had the computery voice. There was a mystique about it, but you were very informative. So you never overshadowed the subject matter in the beginning. So that worked.
Yeah.
And then I would like to come to the next stage of the Snowflake era, which was you as your actual voice doing commentary about, but you did a timeline and talking about the misfits and things of that nature. It was the story, and you helped us understand these people that you love. So we felt the passion from you because these were characters that you cared about.
Okay.
So I think that worked as well. Then you unmasked in a live stream, and people got to see who was behind the hood, and that became intriguing. I think people were like, and that's when you started doing this live stream era where you and Jimmy would break down videos, whatever it may be. You brought the humor there, and people realized, okay, so it's not just a character. This is a human being, but he is funny. He is all these things. And then you started doing shaped by the shape by the algorithm, things like that. I think in some of these aspects, we need you to lead us like a ferryman. We need you to get us down the river so we can understand what we're viewing. I mean, there's only so much that you can comprehend by just hearing clips of people. Life by Jen, perfect. That was well done because she should tell her story. God rest her soul. She should tell her story, and you don't want to step on that. And I think that you did that beautifully. But when it comes to people like a Boogie, like an Amber, like a Foodie, I think that we need you there, and we need Jimmy to kind of, slice up those pieces where, because some people are going to want to punch that screen thinking about how horrible these people, but then we have Jimmy go, "She's a liar." And, we have that, but then we have you to bring us back and go, "But this is what we're talking about."
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Like I said, I'm still learning.
I'm not trying to tell you how to do.
You hate them. Just say you hate them. Say it.
No, I can't, because I love them. I haven't missed since I first found your channel all the way at Tyree Sneed. I have not missed any of your videos. I watch. I make a point to watch them.
Oh, well, that's nice.
But I'm not alone in that. You've introduced so many people to so many different things. Speaking of which, are we going to get a finale for the Misfits?
Yes. Where are we now? December. Yeah. So we're in December, January. Oh, what am I doing in January? I've got that one. it was meant to be at Christmas, and then I got pushed back again. There's only one more to go. So
I
yeah,
know, and I'm cut and heartbroken about it. I'm hoping that one day one of us can get that interview with Big Lenny, because I tried, you tried, and then he just stops talking to people. Like, I don't know what the deal is.
I think, yeah, I'm sure he said he was going to do one with me. I'm sure he did.
He did. He said the same thing to me, and then I have his phone number, and it just.
Oh, you got further than I did. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to finish it and then do a Big Lenny series, but it just keeps getting pushed back. It's like everything. There's things that are just on the list that I want to do that have been there for years. Like Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas has been on the list for, I don't know, 2 years, something like that. I don't know. And I was meant to have done it the other month, and everything, life gets in the way, and then other videos, and then that video did well, so now I have to keep going with Victims of an Emp. So I'll get there.
But that's a bad problem to have, because you have content out the door.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I wanted to say. You're not so many of these low-cal channels get caught up where they're just one channel focusing on one person. There's so many foodie beauty channels, and there's so many Amber channels, so many Cyrax channels. You have found the formula that a lot of people wish they could crack that code. You're not just one cow or person. You are a literal everything channel. You never know what's going to be on the Snowflake channel.
Well, that was Jimmy's idea as well. Well, I probably would have done it that way anyway, but that was Jimmy as well. He said, "Don't get yourself stuck." See, was it Chris? I think he said it was Chris Chan. He said there was Chris Chan reaction channels. I don't know. And he said, and when he stopped being on the internet, then all the channels stopped. So he said, never. What does he say? Back yourself into a corner. Always do other people. And I do, and a lot of the time they don't get any views. Like I did Liver King. I like that one. Nobody watched that.
I enjoyed that one. I
knew you watched it. Thanks.
Yeah, I did.
Just had narration. I was in it. Are you happy?
Yes, I was very happy.
But yeah, I'll just pick random ones like Psychopaths. The Psychopaths that's coming up. Case Cookin's son and his friends. We're doing that one soon. That won't get any views, but I really want to do it.
But okay, but you're allowing yourself to do the ones you want. Like, I know that you love the Misfits, because you love the Misfits as much as I love the Misfits, and I have people at work that knew of the Misfits and then watched your video and go, "I have thank you very much. I've made at least 3 people cry at my job over your video of Big Richard."
Oh, you made me cry now. Yeah, Big Richard.
Love Big Richard.
Oh no, you could.
No.
Yeah, I'd like to finish it with a nice little tribute to all of them. Sol, Big Richard, yeah.
Saul, we remember, we broke the news here. Saul is your favorite of the Misfits.
Probably, yeah. I love that. Yeah, they're all great.
Yeah,
but Sol, Richard, yeah. Oh, Big Richard. I always think about him every time I'm at the gym and I see somebody not put the weights back. I think Richard.
Right.
What was I watching the other day? I watched something the other day and they mentioned Everglades. And every time somebody says Everglades, I think Richard.
I mean, I don't want to fucking tear your throat out and shit down your neck. I'll fucking cut you up and dump you in the Everglades. Don't fucking do it again.
Yeah, he pops in my head quite a lot. Big Richard.
So we always do this, and we're getting to that hour, almost to that hour point. What's next? I mean, when we first started before, like we talked about, you were working a full-time job, and YouTube was like a hobby that you enjoyed doing. Now you're doing it. This is your gig. This is what you do. And how does that feel?
Very scary. Yeah, stressful. I thought when I eventually just do YouTube, it'll be great because I can pick my own hours. I can do 4 days here if I want. I can do an hour there if I want. But it's just non-stop. I didn't realize how much. It's just non-stop, and it's never enough. It's never enough. Yeah, it feels scary. We're still at the scary stage.
But you know that you told me way back when that you thought, oh, it's 5 years. I'll probably be able to start doing this. You did it in 18 months.
Did I?
You accomplished what you had talked about doing in 18 months.
I'd like to just be doing YouTube. I'd like to not have to work anymore. Oh, 5 years. Go on. Yeah. I'll yeah. I'll say I'll be doing YouTube full time. Yeah. Oh, well, actually, saying that, I remember saying that the ultimate goal would be to get to 100,000 subs. That's beyond what I think I can get, but that's the ultimate dream. Well, that's my goal. And now I'm, I don't know, a few weeks away from there or something, a month away or something like that.
And you're
I was like,
5,000,
oh,
like, you're at 95,000, I believe. And
something like that, yeah.
I will say from the first time I met you, you had, I think you had 5,000 to 8,000 when I first met you, way back
right.
when. And to see the progression in all that time to now, you are still the same humble man that I met then, the same guy who checked on me and made sure I was okay, checked on my fiance, made sure she was okay, just to be a good person. You're still, you don't take a compliment for shit. I get that. I understand that you will not take a damn compliment. I get it. It's fine. You're gonna just hear it. You're still humble. You're still just trying to do this thing that you enjoy doing, and you're still Mr. Snowflake. How do you do that? How can you be so humble when what you're doing is amazing?
It'll change when I'm rich. I'll turn into a douche when I'm rich. But until then, I'll stay humble.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know, because it still feels like I'm learning with YouTube. So, like I say, I watched H-Bomber the other week, and I just thought, God, that's the best YouTube video I've ever seen. I need to get better. So I don't know. I just keep thinking, okay, we need to get better. Catch everything
So if
else
this
up.
is not you at your best, I cannot wait to see what is your best. Because your editing, oh my God, it's gotten like even better. Like just if you, the intro to the documentary, wow,
Took ages. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, it's the best it's been having Jimmy in it, having me in it, and trying to make it all Netflixy and like a proper serious thing. I like the style. Yeah, I like the formula now. I think that's the right one to stick with. Unless you want me to go back to no narration.
you will never, do not ever go back to no narration. I love hearing your beautiful voice. That being said, I'm going to ask you something different this time. Instead of asking you where you think you're going to be in a couple of years or whatever, because you've already established that you're going to be 10 times further. If I give you that timeline, what advice would you give anybody starting out in this? Anybody who wants to be like you and do what you're doing and turn something that they consider a hobby into a profession? What advice could you give? What would you give a Mr. Snowflake who's just starting out at this?
Oh no, advice. Oh no, I hate giving advice. Advice. It's good to have a Jimmy Bunker. It's good to have somebody who says that's crap, get rid of it. It's good to have somebody to tell you the truth. Try and get better every time. I always try and do that. I always say that to Jimmy. So whatever the last video is that you did, try and improve something. Improve the audio, improve the camera, get better editing software. Learn more about structure. Just keep trying to improve every time, and then hopefully after 5 years you get to do an interview with somebody who keeps giving you compliments and making you look awkward. So I don't know, just keep trying to improve one thing. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I call you, I'm a fan of yours. I would consider you a friend. I would consider you a good man. I would consider you a great content creator. But at the end of the day, you will always just be Mr. Snowflake. Do you have any last words for everybody watching this before we go?
Thanks for watching. That's it. Thanks for watching. It's I didn't think I'd ever get to 100,000. It's really nice. Still not there yet. Still not finished yet. Still more to do. Now I want to get to 1 million now. I think that's pushing it, but that's the next goal. Just thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for being so nice. And I'll keep trying to make videos that you want, and keep telling Jimmy that he's really handsome because he gets jealous. And that's it. And subscribe and like that button or something. I don't know what to say. What is it? Like and smash the, what is it?
Smash, I don't know. Like smash that like button and hit that bell, and yeah.
Do that, please. Yeah.
That being said, everyone, this is the wonderful Mr. Snowflake, a awesome content creator, a wonderful human being, and someone I consider a friend. Thank you for wasting your time this morning and fucking with me. We're gonna cut it, and I'm Dan. That's Mr. Snowflake, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Bye.